If you're sick and tired of stress just running the show, completely taking over your life, ruining your mental health, your physical health, you are going to love this video because in this video, I'm going to teach you how to take your stress and to start using it to your advantage. Because what happens to a lot of us is that as soon as we experience stress, we freak out, right? We go into that place which is like, oh my God, I'm so stressed out. Oh my God, how am I going to do all of this? Oh my God, I don't have enough time. Or, oh my God, I can't take care of my health. I can't do da 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 because I need to do all these things. And that just like stresses us out that much more. And that's exactly the thinking that you are going to learn in this video how to step away from, because as soon as you start to freak out when you experience stress, you become powerless and helpless to it. You basically step into that victim mindset. And then what you do is you get out of the driver's seat of your life and you give stress permission to step into that driver's seat of your life. And you let stress run the show. You let stress steer you in whatever direction it's taking you, instead of you noticing it, being aware of it, and still choosing to sit in that driver's seat and instead using it to your advantage. It's kind of like you're still in that driver's seat of that car, and now you're using that stress as rocket fuel to propel you forward instead of it being an obstacle, or instead of it just completely taking over in that driver's seat. And that's what I'm going to teach you, because you can use stress to your advantage. And specifically, the key that I want you to focus on is this word of stress tolerance. And if you're new to this channel, by the way, my name is Dr. Vaseline. I am a cognitive behavioral therapy certified naturopathic doctor, and I teach you how to heal your brain naturally, because it is possible. And I myself have, rewired my brain. I struggled with 5 years of chronic depression. I have my own private practice now where all I focus on is really teaching people how to rewire their brain using diet, movement, sleep, supplements, and mindset support. Because truly, when you give your brain the right environment, man, oh man, does it become so much stronger. And when you have a strong brain, you become an unstoppable human being who's capable of doing anything to set their mind to. And that's what I love to do. I love to help people step into their power after they really learn how to optimize their brain and work with it. So getting back to that topic of stress tolerance, that's the key that I want you to focus on. And what stress tolerance means is using stress as a way to increase your tolerance and capacity to handle it. And what happens is that people have different levels of stress tolerance, right? Some people, they've been through some really, really hard, difficult things in life, and their tolerance for stress is really, really high. Other people, not as much. Age also plays a factor, right? A 30-year-old adult probably has a higher stress tolerance than a 5-year-old child because of the experiences of life that they've been through. And that's a mindset that I really want you to take right now, is using your stress to increase your stress tolerance. Because when you start to see stress as a way to grow, to get stronger, to be better, it starts to impact and affect you in a more positive way. And along with this word of stress tolerance, what I need you to understand is that stress does not exist outside of you. I know that that might seem like a weird concept because you might be like, what do you mean? Like, my financial stuff is outside of me. The government, the economy is outside of me. All of the stresses that I have, my job, that's a stress that's like outside of me. Yes, that's true, but that stress doesn't exist outside of you. It's the fact that you are choosing to view it as stress, and that's why it's starting to affect you and impact you in that way. And there's actual literal research studies done on this. So I promise you, I'm not making this stuff up. But more than the stress itself, it's your perception of it that affects you in a negative way. So it's your perception of stress. It's how you choose to view it. This is why two people can be in the same situation and they can have completely different effects and impacts on their mental health, on their physical health, because those two people are choosing to see this situation and this stress with a different perception and a different viewpoint. And this leads me into that first tip as to how you can start to use stress to your advantage. Is you need to start to reframe the stress you experience in your life. And honestly, this needs to be an everyday practice. I still work on this every single day. I am very highly prone to stress. I'm also an entrepreneur, so I feel like naturally that comes with a whole other level of stress and constant uncertainty you are facing on an everyday basis, okay? There's sometimes days in a row where I wake up with just like extreme anxiety and stress, and I'm like, I need to get out of bed, I need to take action. or then the stress is essentially going to take over right now. And so I want you to start reframing your stress, right? Because as I mentioned before, you want to start seeing your stress as a way to grow, to improve, to get better and get stronger, most importantly, instead of seeing stress as something that crushes you, that paralyzes you, that, really has a negative effect and impact on your mental and physical health. And instead, start seeing it as a positive. So when I start to notice that anxiety and stress coming up, so say, for example, with my business, I start to see that as a good thing because I'm like, this is great because the stress means that one, I really deeply care about the work that I do. Two, the stress is going to help me to get stuff done. And I'm so glad it's here because if I wasn't stressed out, honestly, I'd probably sleep in for 2 more hours. I would probably have a 5 hour morning routine and I would barely get any work done. And I'm like, the stress is amazing because the stress just shows how passionate I am about my business and the impact that I want to make in the world. See how much of a better reframe that is instead of being like, oh my God, I'm so stressed out. Like maybe I shouldn't even have a business. Maybe I shouldn't be doing all this social media stuff. Like none of this is working, da da da, right? Look at how discouraging that is. If I let stress like take over, if I let stress take over, I don't want to do anything. It seems way too difficult to take action to move forward, and it seems scarier to move forward versus when I start to see it as a good thing, as I start to see it as like my rocket fuel that allows me to really move forward and make that big impact that I want to make in the world. So that reframe can be really, really helpful. Another thing that can also help you too, as well, to start to reframe your stress is starting to look at the beliefs that lead to that stress. So a lot of us have very dysfunctional beliefs when it comes to stress, when it comes to success. I know a big one for me that I'm still struggling with to this day is that success needs to be hard, aka stressful. And so what I have noticed in the past that I would do for myself is I would find a way to make things be way harder than they actually needed to be. And so I felt like the only way that I could ever get anything done is if I'm in a stressed out state. And if I'm not stressed out, then I can't get work done. And so I would always find a way to put myself in that stressed out state, which is not a fun way to be and wake up every single day. So look at what do you need to believe in order for this to feel stressful? And then the opposite end, look at what do you need to believe in order for this to feel less stressful, for the stress to be reduced. So for me, that could look like instead of believing that success is hard, it could be that success can be easy. Success can feel good. And even just like sitting in that, even as I'm saying it now, I can already see my body being like resistant to it, like, oh, what do you mean it can be easy? But like, why can't it be? Why can't it be? And so when you actually look at the underlying beliefs of what's leading to this belief about stress and things feeling stressful, that can be really, really helpful too, right? Another big one is like, I don't have enough time. What if the new reframe was, I have more than enough time? Or I am right on time for the life that is meant for me. That has been my new favorite mantra lately. Like, I need to put that up somewhere, but I am right on time for the life that is meant for me. Because I know it's so easy in our day and world to feel like we're constantly behind, especially because of social media. And if you feel like that's you, please unfollow anybody that makes you feel like you're behind on life because that type of energy is not allowed. So I really want you to think about how can you reframe this stress and start to use it and see it in a powerful way so that it feels like rocket fuel and not like a big heavy boulder that's like weighing you down. Tip number 2 to start using stress to your advantage is I want you to take the things that stress you out and put them into 3 categories. Category number 1 are things that you have control over. Category number 2 are things you have somewhat control over. And category number 3 are things that you have no control over. What happens to a lot of us is that we experience stress because we are constantly focusing on things that we have no control over. Let me give you my business example. So I have control over the content that I put out. Do I have control over the number of views I get, the comments I get, how many people share my post and whatnot? No, I have zero control over that. But if all I do is keep focusing on the view count, the follower count, the subscriber count, the comment count, that is going to constantly put me in that stress state. Another example when it comes to health, weight loss. Do you have control over, in a sense, over how many pounds a week you're actually losing? No, it's a metric kind of outside of you. But what you can have control over are the action steps you take. You can control how much food you put into your mouth when you eat. You can control how much movement you're getting in during the day. Those are all things that you can control, but you can't control that number on the scale. But if you keep stressing about that number on that scale, it's going to add more stress. It's going to make you feel like a failure. It's going to make you feel like you're not progressing. And then it's going to be really difficult to move forward. You're going to feel helpless like a victim versus if you focus on the things you do have control over. So literally, if you're really stressed out, take a couple of minutes, really only, it takes like less than 5 minutes. Put them in these 3 categories and look at what you have control over. And then this aligns perfectly with step number 3 is take that action. Take action right away, even if it's something small that you can do. So for example, with that weight loss thing, go on a 10-minute walk right now. If it's something to do with your career, your business, do something small, send that email, right? Do something small right now and contribute and work towards that stress. So this morning when I woke up, I had a lot of anxiety, just a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress. And usually when my alarm clock rings, I get out of bed right away. And today I just didn't. I only sat for an extra like 5 minutes and I was just like, oh my God, I need to get up and I need to get my day started and moving because right now I'm just sitting in my stress and it's just building up, boiling up, and it's not making me feel any better. And as soon as I started moving, right, just did something small, which was just wash my dishes from last night, put away the clothes that I had worn yesterday because I didn't put those away yesterday because yesterday was Canada Day. So it was a busy night, went out to see fireworks, and my place was a little bit messy. And as I started to clean things up, I started to feel more confident, started to feel better. And I was like, okay, everything's fine. Let me get to the office. Let me start working. And the anxiety is like, and stress is like virtually gone. Because why? Because I'm taking action on the things that I have control over. Everything else, I don't have control over it. And if you feel like you're stressing about something that you literally can't take action on right now, then it's something outside of your control and that's something not to stress about. And so put that in the have no control section, okay? So doing this really simple activity will help you to remind yourself of where you truly have control and taking that action on it right now, which is going to significantly reduce your stress and it's going to make you feel like you have some more power back in your life. And now the last tip that I have to share that you must remember is that your self-talk is truly everything. And the more positive you can be with the stress that you're experiencing, the better the outcome that you are going to have. A couple days ago, I was talking to one of my patients. She struggles with ADHD. And closer to the end of our visit, she was talking about and saying how she realized how much her self-talk really plays a role in her life and how whatever she speaks, that is what ends up becoming a reality. And I was like, yeah. So I want you to start telling yourself that you're great at focusing, that you're great at concentrating, that you get your work done quickly, that you have really, really high energy, and start speaking the things that you want into your reality. So if you are in a situation where you feel really stressed out, look at what your self-talk is and what you are telling yourself about what you're capable of, how the situation is going to play out, and as much as possible, have that delusional self-talk. Really, I feel like everybody in their minds internally should be delusional AF, okay? As much as you want to be. And of course, when we interact with people, be humble, be kind, all of that good stuff. But internally, your self-talk is literally everything. And I want you to speak positivity in your life. I want you to speak about your life as if everything is working out for you. And this needs to be an everyday thing, right? Because your brain is wired for negativity. So the first thoughts are always going to be negative, and you need to work towards that positive thinking every single day. And this is for everyone, even me. I have great mental health right now, but even me, I need to work towards that every single day. And so I want you to speak about your life as if everything is working out for you, because it truly is at the end of the day. And what starts to happen is that when you start to be positive during the stressful time, when you start to speak about your life as if everything's working out for you, you start to take back power and control. And as you can see, that is the theme here. So many of us, we are left powerless to our stress. And that's exactly the place that I don't want you to be at. I don't want you to be powerless to your stress. I want you to feel powerful. I want you to feel in control of your stress. But if you keep talking about your stress in a negative way, stress is always going to have control over you. So I want you to take that power back. And I want you to speak positively, like you are someone who is capable of doing hard things, of moving through this period, because you've been through hard things before. And let your past speak for itself. You've been through hard things before, and you can get through this hard thing too. And if anything, this hard thing is what is going to make you be even stronger than before. So these are the tips that I have to share with you today. If you want personalized one-on-one support where you want to optimize those 6 pillars of great brain health, which are mindset, nervous system regulation, diet, movement, sleep, supplements, book a free 15-minute clarity call with me. We'll get to the root of what's actually keeping you stuck, and I'm going to give you the exact path that you can use to help you rewire your brain for positivity in a natural way. And I'll see you in the next video.